Hello there. Good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic week and ready for a great weekend. Life has been busy here at Tanglewood as usual. Oops. Lots going on here right now. We are just finishing up our third week of our 10-week session, and we'll have a few people leaving tomorrow, and we have several more people coming. We just get busier from here on out. So it's been crazy. Just today, we, an hour ago, in fact, signed a contract to add a small piece to the Las Cascadas project. Actually, it's the existing entrance. Our land goes to the road, and we could have created a new entrance, but the original owner had an entrance next to their house, and we bought the house and that land, and that makes it a lot easier for us. We have less work to do. There's going to be some challenges because we had a bit of a steep hill and a spring right in the middle of where the road would need to be. That's a bit of a problem. And so now we don't need to do that. We'll just clean up what's already there and use that instead. And we'll be getting all that prepared so that we can be ready for tourists when the high season comes in December. There's not so many tourists going there now. We're not ready, but we'll be ready by then. New entrance, a way for people to pay electronically, refreshments. We'll clean up. We'll be improving the trails, etc. So beautiful, spectacular place, amazing place. If you'd like to help us with that whole project, we have a way to do that. And unfortunately, Rebecca, if you can help me here, maybe, how can you do that? If you can comment on YouTube for me, that would be great with a link. So we have a platform called Seed, and it is for nonprofits. And Las Cascadas is a nonprofit. The foundation is actually called Clean Source. Is the name of the foundation, but the Clean Source Foundation was set up to administer the land, the nature preserve. The idea is to protect this land forever. And so the majority of the land in the project, the only exception that's not part of the foundation, won't be owned by the foundation, will be the communities themselves, which will be owned by community members. I'll own my lot, and each lot owner will have a share in the communal land. Again, this is very different than, unfortunately, than most of the other communities you're seeing right now, like the raw vegan communities in Ecuador. Everyone has their lot. There's really not much shared. Here, 50% of the land will be shared land. So we have two rivers in the community. All river frontage will be shared land. We have waterfalls in the community, shared by everyone. It's quite an interesting concept. It's a spectacularly beautiful place. There's really nothing that I've seen like it. And some of you already know that here on site, we've now got roughly 200 varieties of fruit planted. I've lost the exact count, unfortunately. We'll have to try again to compile that. But over there, the goal will be to eventually have thousands of varieties of fruit, not 200, but thousands. And we're in good shape. We have actually potentially some help. We're actually in conversation with the Costa Rican government. Minister of Export Imports has offered to help us, so that we're going to be hopefully able to more easily bring in seeds and trees that would have been difficult to bring in otherwise. That's our goal. And so the goal is to create this amazing collection there, and some very cool things happening. So we signed that contract this morning. We have 2 more contracts I'll be signing tomorrow, in the next couple days, adding an additional 110 acres roughly to the project. So we own about 500. We're going to about 110 more, and we've got about probably more than 1,000 more acres, 1,300 more acres under contract, roughly, or that we're almost, we're negotiating with and should have a contract shortly. But the goal is to continue to grow this, so we protect as much of this land as we can. It's a biological corridor, and we want to give people an amazing experience with nature, so that they learn, so that they're motivated to learn how to make better choices, how to live more gently on the planet. That's really what needs to happen. All right, so glad to be here with you. I hope you have a fantastic week. Let me stop and take some comments here and say hello to some people. If you're joining me on Instagram, I've been waving to you. It's hard to greet everyone by name here because lots of people come through. Here on YouTube, I see only 6 or 7 comments, so it's a little bit easier to respond to those. Flyer says, hey, Loren, I remember once you talked about the ability to possibly experiment thyroid, liver, pancreas cleansing. Can those be felt in a few days fast or only the long ones? Thanks for your time here. To experiment thyroid, liver, pancreas cleansing. Okay, I guess you're asking me, can you effectively cleanse the liver, pancreas, thyroid in a few days? The answer is no. You know, if you've been alive on the planet for 20, 30, 40, 50 years or more, you can absolutely cleanse these organs. Your body will cleanse itself, pretty much everything, if you give it the chance. But that won't happen in a few days. That happens in 21 days. You know, again, there's a very good reason why I recommend 21 days or more, because that's where we see the miracles happen. If you want to take your health to an amazing new level, you have to clean the garbage out of the liver. You have to make sure your pancreas, thyroid, heart, brain, you know, liver and kidneys are functioning as well as possible. And you can do that, but it's going to take at least 21 days. And that's a process that should always be done with experienced guidance, because it's a serious undertaking. And if you don't know what you're doing, the odds of doing it correctly are pretty minimal. If you know what you're doing, you're willing to go through what you need to, it's amazing what happens. Okay, amazing. I mean, I've heard a couple of miracle stories today, just today, you know, including a gentleman who was suffering with an issue and took some very powerful medication for roughly 2 months every day, and it completely messed him up. All drugs are toxic. Every single drug is toxic. Drugs never make us healthier. Some people may feel like they depend on some drug to survive because of their current situation, but you got to understand, they're not making you healthier. Okay, you're suppressing symptoms, and suppressing symptoms makes the body more toxic, not less toxic. Okay, you never, ever become healthier. We're talking about fasting on only water only fasting. It's the only type of fast there is. I mean, juices is not fasting. It's food. It's liquid, unnatural, overly concentrated, largely oxidized, imbalanced, fragmented food. It's not a fast. And fasting without water, dry fasting, is insane. And no species on the planet does it. Species on the planet stop drinking water because they have some crazy idea that it's somehow going to be better for them. It's not better for anyone. Okay, we're talking about water-only fasting. So this gentleman, 2 months of these drugs completely messed him up. He was suffering from all kinds, you know, shaking hands, very heavy head, hard to think clearly, energy issues, all kinds of problems, pain, constipation, etc. And what happened was he fasted 42 days. This is a guy, by the way, was a guy who was very lean, and he fasted 42 days. And the symptoms started, some of the symptoms started to get worse about 4 days ago. What happened? He started to eliminate 5-6 times a day old bowel movements. Prior to that, he had had one bowel movement 3 days in a row. And then he started to eliminate the old material, the old hard stuff you hear me talk about. He's having 4 meals a day. He's eliminating 6 times a day the last couple days. Old hard material each time. And now the symptoms are virtually gone. Okay. Another woman in the same group fasting with me right now, who is paralyzed, lost complete use of most of her body. She has a little bit of use of her hands. not so much control, and there's nothing else. I mean, from her arms down, nothing works anymore. She has had an enema every day for years because she can't eliminate on her own. Well, she couldn't eliminate on her own until after fasting with me. She's now having 2 bowel movements a day the last several days, and today 3 bowel movements. Okay, 3 bowel movements, eliminating without an enema for the first time. Her system didn't work before. Okay, there was no bowel movements without using an enema. Now she's eliminating again. This is the body regenerating. Okay, this is the body healing itself. This is what happens when we give it a chance. We intelligently get out of the way. Okay, and what we do here, honestly, and I don't mean to sound arrogant, but what they do at True North is a joke compared to what we're doing here. And I'm not saying people aren't getting benefit, but they're telling people to drink no more than 2 liters a day. You're never going to eliminate the old material, and no one who goes there does. No one who goes there eliminates the old material. Remember, Dr. Michael Clapper, who was there 9 years supervising fast, doesn't believe old hard material exists. What does that tell you? Nobody there eliminates any. Okay, they're not coming close to getting the benefits that they could be getting. Not even close to what's possible. Okay, it only happens when you're doing it the way we do it here. All right, so amazing, amazing things going on. Rebecca, if you're there, if you could please post that link to Seed, and then I'll repost it. But I don't see it. I haven't seen it. If you post it on Instagram, it's very hard to see because there's so many comments. They're coming in so quickly, and then it's much harder for me to work with on my cell phone. So if you could post it on YouTube, where I can easily copy and paste it, that would be fantastic. I'd appreciate that. Unfortunately, I don't remember the exact URL, and I know if it's not right, it's not going to show up. So please, if you can do that, that'd be great. I guess I can try to find it in the meantime, since I'm not seeing Rebecca here. Let me see if we can find that right now. Cancel that. Give me just a second. I'm going to see if I can find this. It's a little weird to be off the screen and typing somewhere else while I'm talking to you, but that's what we're doing. That's not it. Okay. Let me try again. That didn't work. Okay, so there was a question earlier about what type of fasting I was talking about. And of course, many of you who are here every week know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me just point out for anyone who's not familiar with water-only fasting, or thinks this is crazy or radical, or starving, whatever it might be, you want to really be clear that no, it's not working either. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. Let me see. I'm not finding it here. So healing and cleansing, these are biological processes, right? And that means only the organism can cleanse or heal the organism. Nothing we take, nothing we do, no green smoothies, no green juices, no herbs, no drugs, no Reiki can heal your body. Your body heals itself. Okay, your body cleanses itself. Fasting is so powerful because it allows us to get out of the body's way so that it can cleanse and heal as well as possible. And when we do that, we see amazing things happen over and over again. I mean, so we've been doing this here now for 24 and a half years. And all right, that's not it. Yeah, I'm not finding this, unfortunately. So Rebecca, again, a call to action. If you're here, please post this. I haven't seen it yet. That would be great. Anybody else? If anyone else here knows where this is, where we can find this, that would be great. The platform is called Seed, or yeah, I think it's a little bit different, but it's not. I'm not finding it, unfortunately. So I've got a couple super chats. I'm going to go to the super chats, and we'll come back afterward and talk more about cleansing and healing the body. If you want to feel and function as well as possible, that's absolutely necessary. And this is why we've seen with every client, every person who's come to us, it gets better, gets healthier, more vibrant, more clear, more balanced emotionally, as a result of giving the body a chance to get the garbage out. All right, Krasimir is here with 15 Bulgarian, and he says, hello, Loren. When I eat sea salt, my body hold water, but when I swim in the sea or surf sometimes, I swallow water and my body does not hold water. Can you explain that? Okay, so first of all, when you eat sea salt, your body will indeed hold water. Thank you so much, first of all, for the support. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope things are going well for you back home in Bulgaria. We'd be happy to see you here again whenever you're ready. Yeah, so when we eat salt, sea salt, it doesn't matter what kind of salt it is, any salt, your body will hold water. You will create edema. And that happens because your intelligent body knows that inorganic minerals like sodium chloride are toxic to the body. They're toxic to the body, okay? When we eat salt, the body wants to protect us from the salt, and so we lose cellular water. The water migrates from the cells. We become more dehydrated. We wind up raising our blood pressure. We create issues for ourselves, and we create edema as a result of the body attempting to protect itself from the stuff that we've consumed. When you swim in the sea, there's no reason that you would have any edema, that your body would hold water, because we don't absorb salt through the skin. What happens when we swim first of all, when we swim in the sea, because the concentration of salt in the average sea is roughly equivalent to the concentration in the body, there's very little migration of water from one to the other. Whereas if we swim in a very salty place like the Dead Sea, which lies between Israel and Jordan, okay, if you go in the Dead Sea, it's called the Dead Sea because nothing can live in it, because the salt concentration is so high that when a living organism, plant or animal, goes into that water, all the water leaves not all the water, but it dehydrates the body until the organism's dead. Okay, it sucks the water out of the body, and that's because that's what happens. That's what osmosis is. Osmosis is the movement of water from a low concentration to a high concentration of solute. So you go into the Dead Sea and the concentration of solute, salt, sodium and chloride in your body is much lower than it is in the sea. And so water migrates from us to the salt. That's what happens, okay, into the water. So the water leaves your body, you become dehydrated, and if you stand there long enough, it would literally kill you. It would dehydrate you until you couldn't live. This is why it's called the Dead Sea. But in a regular sea, and in most seas, the water's not salty enough to have that effect. And so you're not going to lose water. It's definitely not going to create edema. If anything, only thing it would create would be losing water. Now, if you swallow a little tiny bit of water, and I seriously doubt you're swallowing enough water to have an impact. I think that's the reason why. It's a question of quantity, okay? If you swallow a tiny amount of water, seawater tastes bad, you spit it out, but you're not really consuming any significant amount of salt. If you were to drink enough seawater, it would kill you. And in fact, when I was a cadet at the U.S. Air Force Academy, they told us, most of the guys there wanted to become pilots, and they said, if you're ever shot down and you wind up in the water and there's nothing to drink, don't drink the seawater, right? You'll die faster if you drink the seawater than if you drink nothing, because the seawater will dehydrate you faster than drinking nothing will, okay? And that's the issue, all right? Does this make sense? So I think the answer is when you swallow a little bit, and I have the same experience. I swallow a little bit of salt water sometimes when I'm in the ocean. It's sometimes hard to avoid doing that. Like if you're body surfing and there's big waves, sometimes a little bit of water gets in your mouth. It's probably not enough concentration to have any impact. Okay, I think that's what's going on. All right, we have another super chat here. Ian 444444 is here with a 10-pound contribution and says, here in Thailand, I eat mainly papaya, mangoes with watermelon and pomelo. Are they as nutritionally complete as fruits I grew up eating in the UK, like apples, pears, berries, etc.? Will my body be missing anything? Well, so for all the years, I'm 16 plus years living in Central America, Ian, and for most of that time, most of those years, most of each year, our staple foods are relatively the same. I mean, there's not much variation most of the year up until now. So I've lived primarily on watermelons, papayas, pineapples, mango. Because we have now planted hundreds of varieties, more than, around 200 varieties of fruit, we're harvesting more all the time. So where in the past I would sometimes encounter certain things, today we have them. So we have mulberries. They come and go throughout the year. I get mulberries throughout the year sometimes. We have sapotes and sapodillas. We have cherimoyas, zanonas. We have guanabanas. We have passion fruits, granadas and granadillas. We have many, many more things that I'm probably forgetting. But as the idea is to be getting a variety of different fruits. So I would definitely not encourage anyone to try to live on papaya, mangoes, watermelon, and pomelo only. Okay, papaya, mango, watermelon, pomelo. That's 4 things. That would probably wind up creating some issues, because while we might be getting most of what we need from that, it's entirely possible that there are some trace elements we're not getting. We don't need to have 50 different fruits or the 200 different things we've grown here. We don't need to have all of those things in order to get our needs met. Okay, dragon fruits, cacao fruits, water apples, cashew apples, which I don't eat very many of. Don't really like them very much. These are all things that we're growing here. But by eating a variety of different things throughout the year, guavas and guayabas, there's very little chance of running into any problems. Okay, but you do want to have some variety. It doesn't have to be a huge variety. I would say you probably want to have at least half a dozen fruits plus leafy greens. So you're close if that's really all you were eating. Now, my guess is that's not all you're eating, right? That's what you're eating most of the time. Like me, you probably have rambutans, we have mangosteens, but they're seasonal, right? They're not all the time. That's okay. As long as you have these things that are cycling in and out, and then you have those things that are the staples that are always there, you're going to be perfectly fine. As long as your body's working well, right? Having fasted, your body should work very well. Many people can eat those exact same things and still have problems, still have deficiencies, because their bodies are not functioning as well as they should be. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up here on Instagram. I've noticed there were some longer comments, perhaps some questions. Let me see if I can attend to some of those. Let's see. You scroll down from the top. We'll start at the top, then I'll jump back over to YouTube. Again, if you want to be sure I answer your question, then the thing to do would be to do a super chat, make a donation that guarantees that I see. Now, of course, you don't have to. I offer free content. I've been here virtually every week. I've missed a couple weeks, but I've been here almost every week for, I think, 5 or 6 years, and have no intention of stopping. I'm live on Fridays in English on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm live on Saturdays at the same time, 9 a.m. Costa Rica time, in Spanish. Okay, and someone is saying, I'm not sure if I can read that. I am Kales. Cool, thanks. I'm on day 19 of a juice fast. Okay, listen, power to you if that works for you. I don't really recommend it. Juices, as I mentioned, are unnatural, fragmented, overly concentrated, largely oxidized, imbalanced substances which create imbalances in the body. You may feel good, but you're not detoxifying at nearly a fraction of the rate. And I have a gentleman here now who's fairly well known in the juicing community, as well as another man who also has done a ton of juicing to try to heal. Neither of them healed through juicing. They both came to water fast. They will both leave here, I guarantee, feeling and functioning better than they have in decades, because that's what happens. It doesn't happen with juices. I mean, juices, some people are going to feel better, but honestly, juices aren't even really healthy for us They're not something we should be consuming at all. I'm going to change the angle of my phone a little bit, bring this down so I can actually read the comments. It's a little hard to read them. Unfortunately, when my phone is pointed the way it was. I know it's a little weird. It makes it look funny because I've got all the space over my head. But if I point it at me, then the angle makes it hard to read from my height. Okay. I have somebody here commenting in same person. No, two different people commenting in Spanish. Si está comentando en español, mañana estoy en vivo en español a las 9 aquí en Costa Rica, a la misma hora en español. Hoy solamente inglés. Disculpe, pero solo en inglés hoy. Ok, mira, mejor si puede volver mañana y los dos y puedo contestar Marea. Es Marea, sí. Mañana, por favor, voy a estar aquí en vivo en español y estoy muy feliz para contestar sus preguntas, pero hay mucha gente aquí en inglés y por esto voy a contestar en inglés hoy solamente. Ok, disculpe, pero mañana mismo estoy para ti. Hay mucho menos gente cuando estoy en español normalmente y estoy muy feliz para contestar todas sus preguntas. Okay, ¿qué más? Mind, Body, and Soul says, Dear Loren, one question. I'm a little bit scared to eat just fruit and to do water fasting because I'm underweight. Yep, I understand. A lot of people feel the same way. And yet, and first of all, you should be scared to water fast on your own because you have to know what you're doing. But write to me, tell me your situation. Okay, you can send me a private message here on Instagram, or you can email me, Loren at TanglewoodWellnessCenter.com, or info at TanglewoodWellnessCenter.com, or go to the Tanglewood Wellness Center website, complete the registration form, and put in the notes there, put in the comments, I'm a little concerned about this, I'm not sure if I want to do this or not. But here's the thing, I work with people all the time who can't gain weight. They can't gain weight. They're underweight like you because they're not digesting, absorbing, or assimilating very well. And what happens is we get them through the fast, and then they're able to gain weight. And so the guy I mentioned to you, the juicing guy, is underweight, and he's going to wind up being able to gain weight. Don, 78-year-old Don, who fasted with me back in April, was 6 feet tall, 101 pounds, okay, 46 kilos roughly when he got here, when he started his process. He'd been losing weight every single day for years, couldn't gain weight, was 101 pounds, 6 feet tall, 182, 46 kilos, and he gained 20 pounds as a result of fasting with me. I mean, he lost a bunch of weight and then regained everything he lost plus 5, 6, 7 pounds after having 400 bowel movements, correcting the underlying problem. Okay, we see this all the time. The same thing's going on right now with several people working with me now. We have a lot of people who are underweight for the same reason. They can't gain weight because their body's not working properly. You have to overcome your fear. Okay, I'll guarantee you results if you can follow my simple coaching. Not everyone can, not everyone's willing to, but if you're willing to get out of your own way and follow coaching, I will guarantee you're going to see amazing things happen. Oh, I'm reading here on the very bottom, it says, unable to connect to chat. So if you're on YouTube, I'm so sorry. I'm not able to see any more chat here on YouTube. If you've done a super chat, here's what I'm going to have to do. Unless it reconnects, I'm going to try. Let me try this. I'm going to try refreshing the page. Hopefully I don't lose anything. If I lose you, you know what happened. But I'm going to try that. If I don't come to you, it's because I can't see your comments. Okay, I'm not seeing anything now. I can see all the way down to Art Pinsoft's question. I'm sorry, it's below that. I can see all the way to Art Pinsoft's question after Ian. After Ian's super chat, Art has another comment, coincidentally, which says, thank you for all your amazing content, Loren. You are very, very welcome. I'm so happy to share here. It's really a pleasure for me to be here. I love doing this. But yours is the last thing I can see here today, right now. I'm going to try refreshing. If I don't come back, or if I do come back, I'll tell you. But if I don't come back, you'll know what happened. If you've already made a super chat or would like to, go ahead, please do. You can only do it while we're live, so you can do that now. And then email me, Loren@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com, and I will respond directly to you later on today. Okay, in writing. I apologize, but I can't respond to things I can't see.